Hey everybody, Tim Burchett. I've proposed legislation, here's the bill, to eliminate federal funding and federal agencies purchasing those flock cameras. I find it pretty disgusting. They're pretty draconian, and you can look that up if you want to know what that means. It's called the Protection Against Mass Surveillance Act, and it prohibits federal agencies from purchasing, deploying, or contract with automated surveillance systems. These things violate our constitutional rights. I've always been for protecting constitutional freedoms. I think it's one of the most important responsibilities, one of the important things we do as congressmen, to do anything at all. And they just tend to keep giving away your rights. Americans should never choose between safety and liberty. We got to keep our country safe, but we can't sacrifice the freedoms that, of course, that define us. It violates the Fourth Amendment. I've consistently opposed these warrantless surveillances and policies, and they'll weaken our...
You have to convince your community how great these things. You can't fight it. You have to go with it. And you're going to have all that protection, and we're giving you automatic protection, but you're going to make a tremendous amount of money. You're going to reduce taxes, and you're going to have something that if you don't have it, everybody else wants it. You have the communities that really want the data centers. And frankly, those are the smart communities, because it means tremendous numbers of jobs, very little actual disruption.
They think they're modern day heroes because they're hanging AI mass surveillance cameras on streetlights across the United States.
Now, throughout history, outposts, that has been where the protectors are stationed at the edge of civilization. That's what Outpost is. It's a next generation fixed camera you can set anywhere. An outpost protecting the boundaries of your community. I'm also excited to announce that we are working with another industry leader to turn streetlights into smart ALPR and live streaming cameras.
We built a reputation with more than 900 cities and utilities for turning ordinary streetlights into extraordinary tools for public safety. So Todd's plugging this into the photocell socket, which has been common for 60 years on 450 million streetlights. 10 to 40 hours of video storage, and all integrated with Axon fuses.
The EPS has partnered with Axon Enterprises Incorporated and will be the first police service in the world to test Axon's body-worn video camera facial recognition technology.
Technology, particularly around accuracy. And as you can appreciate, if you are involved with the police, if there is a mismatch with a person of interest with your face, it's going to have an immediate and serious impact on you.
Well, I don't know why Canadians should be the guinea pigs for an experiment like this.
One professor says the cameras were meant as an accountability tool for police.
Now we're seeing the cameras being turned around essentially on us and being pitched this technology that would essentially turn officers into mobile surveillance units.
I'm going to read from an article on biometricupdate.com. The article is from December 5th, 2025. Gideon Christian, an associate professor at the University of Calgary, is quoted saying, instead of primarily watching the police on the public's behalf, the cameras have been retrofitted to watch the public on the police's behalf. Flipping an accountability tool into a surveillance tool is a complete breach of public trust. Anyone who walks past a participating police officer may be scanned and compared to police databases without knowledge or consent. Christian points specifically to a prior commitment from Axon not to use facial recognition in its body cams. In 2019, Axon's independent AI ethics board concluded that facial recognition was too flawed and too biased to be ethically deployed on body-worn cameras and recommended that it not be used in that way. For Edmonton to now trial the very thing that Axon's experts warned against is baffling and risky, and suggests an eagerness within EPS to embrace controversial surveillance technology without fully weighing the consequences.
250 officers will wear the cameras until the end of the month. Then police will decide the next step.
Expand. On May 8th, just after this council heard details outlining the proposed expansion, O'Fallon Police Department utilized technology and identified my husband as a suspect based on a vague description by police using the flock surveillance system. The mistake led to a terrifying encounter at our house. 7 police officers swarmed our house with guns drawn, demanding us, shouting for our hands up to exit our home. It was 8 o'clock at night. We were relaxing in our home, feeling safe And since then, that sense of safety has been since taken from us. We were treated as dangerous criminals and not like citizens. Our neighbors watched in shock, and my husband and I are still trying to process this trauma. There was no apology or acknowledgement for the harm that was caused, just an offer to do a police ride-along. Now we are here with the same police department whose inability to use existing technology correctly or common sense policing when suspects were, one, African American and reported to have gone the opposite direction of which the police went, are requesting nearly $2 million to upgrade this very system that caused the harm without any explanation of what went wrong, how this will be fixed, or how community members like myself are going to be protected going forward. I want to ask you this. Where is the funding request in this?
Yeah, it hit on our license plate readers the other day too. So.
Are you serious? So what happened?
So from a
couple days ago.
So from my understanding, New Jersey had reported that this license plate had been stolen from a dealership. Okay. So that's why Flock has been reading it because it's popping up as a stolen plate. Okay.
Got it. So this was picked up somewhere by Flock.
Yep.
When? Do you know?
Well, it was picked up when you were driving somewhere into this area.
Today?
Yep.
But you said a couple days ago it was
And then a couple days ago, I remember I was trying to find it when you were coming over 494 in that general.
Shit.
Yeah.
So basically there are cameras that read my license plate now twice in the last couple of days. Mm-hmm. And it picked up and flagged it for the cops. You guys have been searching for this car. Mm-hmm. Unreal.
But you'd be surprised. You'd think, so probably the only Range Rover you see, right?
Sure. It's not a common car.
No. Yep. Right?
Yeah.
I get it 2 days ago, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe yesterday. I don't know. My days are kind of blurring right now.
Yeah, I get it.
But I can't tell you how many freaking one of these I've seen in the last couple of days when I was searching for this.
You seen a lot all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys hit off the Flock camera pulling in here.
Okay.
But we do run it just to confirm, and we did that, and it is showing up as stolen.
Warning from state police and the FBI after a group of men posing as ICE agents, they say, pulled over a driver in Clackamas County, detained, and then assaulted them.
How do we know they were fake? How do we know they were fake? I mean, just based on the description alone.
Investigators say the men were driving a blue or gray SUV with no license plates that had flashing red and blue lights. The men wore green shirts, face coverings, and tactical vests labeled police, and one of them had a rifle.
I don't know. Sure sounds like real ICE to me. And hey, it's not like the behavior is all that far off from what we've already seen. This is the problem when all ICE looks like fake ICE. And quite frankly, if you expect people to just trust and believe that someone has authority when they show up in unmarked vehicles, refusing to show any sort of badge or credentials or identify themselves, and just assume that these people are in fact authorities of any type, then we all get to assume in cases like these that these guys were authorities too. You don't get to pick and choose when the unidentified masked men count as your guys or not. As far as I'm concerned, this and every other example of fake ICE should 100% be treated as actions perpetrated by this administration and its department. Mind you, we have seen time and time again the problems and risks that come with having unidentified officers roaming the streets. Araujo, one of the more recent victims, was evading unmarked, unidentified vehicles. What else should he have assumed? Like the irony of the state police and the FBI warning people about fake ICE roaming the streets. What do you expect people to do? You cannot have it both ways. Until you take responsibility and enforce identification for your guys, they're all your guys. And all of them can be assumed fake. And real quick, I just have one thing to say to all of the just comply people out there. It doesn't matter how much of a citizen you are, how closely you follow the law, or how unlikely you believe it to be that you might be targeted by ICE. Just comply makes you just as, if not more, susceptible to this than anyone else. Especially while these guys are running around completely unidentified.
Hey, what's up, America? Why are so many data centers being built in America? Why is there such urgency to build data centers? I mean, I've never seen anything like it. An entire society breaking their neck to build data centers at lightning speed. We've been asking the federal government to build high-speed rail networks nationwide, not a peep from them. We've been asking the federal government to help feed the poor, not a dollar. But when it comes to data centers, we have World War II level movement from the government. So what could possibly be the fucking urgency to build so many data centers? Why? Why are they doing this? Well, I think you know why they're doing it. They openly say it. It's to build a nationwide surveillance and monitoring network of the American people. You. Every click, every conversation, every turn of the wheel of your vehicle will be monitored and put into a data center for processing. Oh, it's true. They're trying to train AI robotics to better your world. Don't get me wrong. But a majority of these data centers are nothing but monitoring and surveillance tool systems. This will be used for nothing more than a nationwide policing tool against.
What they just did in Spokane, Washington will make you sick to your stomach.
So you guys should pass a policy that puts a ban on data centers in our county because we have real problems.
There are so many reasons why this fire reminds people of exactly what we saw in Lahaina, Maui, and Paradise. The speed at which this fire tore through the city left people with almost no time to evacuate. In some neighborhoods, police officers had to go door to door just to get people out.
Get him. Go save some people, folks. Oh, man. Dude. Ground zero. Look, we got homie right here asking someone to please get out. Hopefully they're out. That guy over there, too. Look at him. I'm sure they're out.
It's coming in so many different directions. We don't know how it started. No one's telling us shit.
A lot of people didn't even have time to move their expensive cars or get their pets out of the house.
I never thought I would have to make this video. Last night, in the Old Trails fire in Spokane, Washington, I lost my house. And not only did I lose my house, I lost my truck, and in the back, I lost my Camaro. My house is completely leveled. My neighbor has a first responder in his family, so that's how I got this video. No one's allowed in my neighborhood, but it's all gone.
Yet people kept reporting that there were no firefighters on the scene even hours after the first homes started burning down.
Well, that's our house right there. It's about to go down in flames. That's this one right here? Yep. That's our neighbor Larry over there. It's on fire right now. That's Barb. Next to her is Charm. The one over from that is my childhood friend Sam. It's all on fire and there's not a single responder here. Hi, brother.
It's almost like no one cared that 600 homes had just turned to ash, leaving 60,000 people homeless within hours. And to top it all off, the fire itself seemed very strange. A lot of the trees around the properties are fine. Street signs are untouched, but the cars in the driveways are completely melted, and the homes themselves have just vanished, turned into piles of ash.
I hear the train a-comin'. It's rolling around the bend. And I ain't seen the sunshine. I don't know when.
And here's the thing, I personally saw the same thing when I visited Lahaina. what I've noticed as I'm walking around here, my feet are sticking to the ground. It's like a tacky surface. Homes gone, cars melted, but somehow buildings with blue paint and a lot of the trees were still standing. All right, let's see if you can help answer this question. Why is everything completely turned into ash and dust? Except for this blue house. Which is still intact. And blue vehicles. So you can understand why people are skeptical about the official story behind this tragedy. But then there's the real question. Who would benefit from this? Well, let me tell you something. A Spokane County commissioner was reportedly having secret discussions with a company to build a massive data center in the area. The company in question is Apricus Energy Solutions. It has no record of building anything before. Only 11 employees, but somehow they were ready to build a 1,000-watt data center in this area. When the plan came under fire, the commissioner claimed he didn't know about the company. But emails show he held secret Zoom calls with the CEO of Apricus, who was pushing for tax breaks for the project. Residents hated this plan, and just weeks before the town burned down, county commissioners were considering banning data centers altogether.
A temporary 9-month moratorium will give us the time to really understand the potential impacts of these facilities before they're built and make sure that responsible rules are in place first.
Now, with half the town gone, people think we might start seeing more than one data center in this area.
How convenient is it that now, in the same area that they were going to build the data center up north, there's a huge fire burning down? Do you know what eminent domain is? Eminent domain allows the state or the government to seize pieces of land and repurpose them for public use. But there are requirements that have to have been met in order for them to do this. Now, conveniently, if land is burnt and ravaged by a wildfire, private property, the government is then allowed to seize that land and use it to build data centers.
The Everglades are literally being burned down right now as we speak. But hey, it's not like it's for the data center that's being built right here. This is Project Tango, the new data center being built in the Everglades, which I thought was supposed to be a national park. But guess what, guys? They don't care about that either. But the good news is this is a smaller one, but it still uses more power than Jamaica in total, than the Bahamas in total, and Nicaragua just to operate. But guys, I know what you're thinking. Isn't this just going to be so great for the people of Florida? It's going to create so many jobs. Nope, only 40 to 50 people can work in this huge facility. Keep in mind, the billionaires who are building this literally get a 60+ million tax write-off, but again, only employ roughly 40 to 50 people. The 60+ million in taxes that they're avoiding would have gone to fund roads, schools, emergency services, but no, the billionaires can do whatever they want. The good news is if you're a homeowner and you live next to one of these things, they're now predicting that your home value will go down at least by 5% just from the noise that this thing makes. It literally can be 90 to 120 decibels, which is the equivalency of having someone next to your ear with power tools. This is the reality.
This is our cold water pressure in the kitchen. This is where I fill up water for storage. Those are the things we have to fill up to flush the toilets.
So you can see the sediment from the data center. Wow, and that's just from the water coming out of your faucet?
Yeah, and this is what's in all the pipes.
Just the well itself is probably 20,000, and that's not counting any of the
all the
faucets.
replacement of the fixtures and faucets and toilets and the lines that come underneath the house. It's overwhelming because you really feel like you are up against this huge wall that you can't penetrate. There's nothing that you can do, and they don't care.
We the people need to wake up and speak out against this. There's already one in every single U.S. state, and they're only getting bigger and taking more of our freedoms, our rights, and our resources. Let's wake up.
Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them.
If we disappear, the government did it.
Joe, what are we doing out here?
We're going to configure your solar system to counter this guy.
You feel so accomplished after working this hard.
Might take one look at me and say, this man is on methamphetamine. I'm going to tell you what happened and let you make your own determinations, because it doesn't even make sense to me. A few months ago, I put in a solar system for Julian Brown, who was powering the world's first microwave pyrolysis reactor off of solar. A few days after the content, helicopters started circling him at night. Really freaked him out. At the same time, I started having cybersecurity attacks on a lot of my companies. Shortly thereafter, all of Julian's social media was hacked. In this industry, it's just water on a duck's back. Regroup, keep going. I'm in Costa Rica for a month when I get a call from Julian. He says he's having problems with the battery, so I scramble and get another system put together and shipped quick. I get back stateside and the batteries are here 3 days later. Real busy. Don't post any content about it. Nobody knows. The first night the batteries were here, we noticed the planes. Big military-style crafts. Lights on the side, red blinking in the middle, yellow on the side. We counted 7 in a row. Got the same one? That's got to be 5 in the last hour. 2 nights in a row. Got to be 2 in the last 10 minutes. Strange, but nothing sinister. When did they start? 2 days ago. When the batteries got here. Yesterday, I posted a video saying the batteries were at the shop. I was sitting in this trailer with Tim designing the solar system. We're going to do a little more mathematizing. When the first chopper showed up. Hold on, what is that? Put it on. Come in on that shit. Look, right there. It came over here. Is he coming back? Yes. And did a 360 that way. Where are you, bird in the sky? You could see the big camera pod on the front of it. 10 minutes later, we had a plane come by. What kind of plane is it? Okay.
Stationary landing gear.
Flying low. Good picture of your ass too, dog. Make sure you're on your flight pattern. A little tiny plane. Again, nothing sinister, just a total anomaly. About an hour later, I was sitting at that computer working when the chopper came back. There he is. He's back. That's him again. When the second chopper came back, I live streamed it on Instagram for verified proof it happened. For those of you who say choppers were not circling nature jab, I'm gonna tell you something. His batteries got delivered. I posted a video about it 2.5 hours ago. This is the second time this chopper has circled me.
That circled the friggin' property.
Is he coming back? Look. Holy shit. There he goes again. Yeah, he flew low. Real time, no bullshit. After 3 flybys, I was kind of thinking, hey, something's up. As soon as I post a live stream, I hop in the Mustang to go somewhere, look down at my phone, and the whole screen is blank. So I don't know. It just went black when I was driving. I'm trying to turn it off. I'm an app developer. I know you can grab a phone, blank the screen, send 2FA codes. No idea what the fuck it's doing. I can't turn it off. Get your access, then delete the codes and open it back up like nothing happened. Now I've held down all the buttons and it's vibrating. Trojan horse. How do you turn off an iPhone like this? Happens all the time. You might take one look at me and say, this man is on methamphetamine. Or you could think to yourself, what large, powerful organizations on planet Earth have interest in stopping the world's first solar-powered continuous pyrolysis reactor, which converts plastic waste into fuel? Keep this in mind. The devil's greatest trick was convincing the world he never existed.
You know, when I made that video yesterday about 727 people losing their job over one man drinking a beer, there was a lot of y'all that said there had to be a lot more to it than that. Well, it turns out that it is. See, on that job site, they've already had 9 accidents. They've had someone lose a finger, a limb, a hand. They even had a death on that job site. There's been over 1,000 first aids, and there's been over 100 property damages. Yeah, it's all about safety. You see, that was just the straw that broke the camel's back. They're looking for something at this point. At this point in the game, they have got to find something to pin on somebody to justify why their record is that high, and there's going to be some heads roll. Do you know how many people have been hired on that data center project that has absolutely no experience? None whatsoever? Do you know how many people thinks that safety is a fucking joke? It's kind of crazy, you know? If you really value your job when you're bringing home $4,000 a week, you should do everything it takes to keep that job.
A popular Arizona fishing destination is now off limits after a catastrophic environmental collapse. San Carlos Lake on the San Carlos Apache Reservation in eastern Arizona is closed indefinitely after a massive, sudden oxygen crash completely wiped out the lake's aquatic life. Now, tribal officials warn the public to stay far away from the water. On June 5th, the San Carlos Recreation and Wildlife Department officially shut down all access to the historic reservoir. The cause? A total 100% fish kill. Years of unrelenting drought combined with heavy mandatory water releases from the Coolidge Dam for downstream farming irrigation created a perfect ecological storm. Fish kills happen when dissolved oxygen in the water becomes critically low. Hot weather, low water, and decaying organic matter all make the situation worse. Here at San Carlos, the shallowing lake combined with dam releases created the perfect storm. But how does an entire lake die overnight? It comes down to dissolved oxygen, the literal air fish breathe through their gills. Warm water inherently holds less oxygen than cold water. Compounding the crisis, intense summer heat triggers massive algal blooms, and when that algae dies and rots at the bottom, the decomposition process strips the remaining oxygen out of the water entirely, suffocating the fish within hours. History reveals this is a recurring tragedy for San Carlos Lake. Because its waters are legally tied to downstream agricultural demands, the lake has dropped to near empty levels roughly 20 times over the last century, most recently during a severe oxygen crash in 2018 and a near total wipeout back in 1977. And it isn't just San Carlos. Just last month, local anglers faced a similar heartbreak near Pima, where extreme summer heat and low water levels triggered a significant fish die-off at Clough Pond No. 3. Right now, all fishing, harvesting, and shoreline recreation at San Carlos Lake are strictly prohibited due to severe health and safety hazards from the decomposing wildlife. Officials say recovery and any future restocking efforts will depend entirely on when Mother Nature brings relief to the watershed. Reporting from San Carlos Lake for the Gila Herald, I'm John Johnson.
A proposed data center in Virginia could soon force residents to dig up the graves of enslaved Virginians. And if they don't dig them up, well, the data center will be built over them. Everyone needs to hear what's happening right now in Stafford County. According to WUSA 9, who spoke with Dorothy Jones, a 94-year-old resident in Stafford County, a proposed data center, the Potomac Creek Development Data Center, would be built on a 99-acre property that includes a cemetery that dates back to the 1700s. The cemetery contains both marked and unmarked graves. If the project moves forward, Dorothy Jackson and other residents say that it could unearth several remains. But it's not just that. Theoretically, the data center could just simply be built over remains. And if the county approves the development, a court could decide whether or not any human remains have to essentially be relocated. But residents are saying don't disrupt their final resting place. Spread the word because people need to know what's happening in Stafford County. Follow along for all the news you need to know about.
Nothing wrong. Don't put your hands on it. Watch out, ATVD is following me. For what? What did he do wrong? What did he do wrong? What the fuck? Cops are pussy. What the fuck? You guys are fucking pussies for doing this. He did nothing fucking wrong. You're pieces of shit. Or what? Or what? I'm not doing anything wrong.
We are literally having a town meeting in a barn. There's taxidermy on the wall, and you're talking about proposing an AI crypto mining data center in this town. This is not a wealthy New York City suburb. This is working class Jersey at its core. And not only are you inviting big tech into our backyard, but you're handing out tax breaks to them as if there's not work to be done here, as if there's not potholes to be filled, roads to be fixed, schools to be funded, some new gear for our volunteer fire department. And if you're going to invite them into our backyard, take away our job opportunities, raise our electric bills, right? Pollute our water, the least that you could demand from them is adequate tax payments for their facility. But you're taking a buyout. tens of millions of dollars that's being wasted that's not going to these things. Economic development for who? Because it's not the town. We're not getting a lot of funding from this, right? You're doing it for big tech, for Silicon Valley. And, you know, you act like this wasn't happening. You tried to slip it under the rug, so I got to ask, how much are they paying you to allow this data center? Are you going to answer that later? Absolutely. Yep. We deserve to know, because it seems like no one in this room wants this except for you six. It's mind-boggling. And you're certainly not getting your jobs back after this, right? Because you're not doing your jobs. You're not representing the people who put you in these seats, the people that it's your job to represent, right? The people that you work for. Us. It's insane. You got the whole community here saying they don't want it.
This is the data center right here.
Yes, you're coming over right now. You see all the construction going on right here.
Yeah.
We don't know what kind of agreements that they're making. They won't let us know.
I'm in Boyce, Louisiana, and like many small towns across the country, it's the site of a massive data center. And like many of those projects, the whole thing was concealed from the public through the use of non-disclosure agreements, or NDAs. At a recent town hall with local officials and the data center company, people asked about the NDA.
Are there any elected officials here that did sign the NDA? Our politicians were elected to represent us, not to represent industry.
I've been investigating NDAs in Louisiana.
They ain't told me nothing.
So, you represent the district and they didn't tell you anything about the project? It's the district you represent, and it's a very large development here. I'm just curious, what... Okay. He hung up on me.
But the practice of using NDAs to conceal data center deals is becoming more and more common across the country. So you got NDAs here and NDAs in other places across the country.
Evidently, it's happening all over the country. And that's not what you call an open government right there. That's not transparency. It's the opposite of that.
We're facing a crisis with corruption, not just here, but everywhere.
Did you know anything about it before it showed up?
No. No one has sent a note to me telling me no nothing.
All of a sudden, there's this big white tent, bulldozers and everything.
What are your concerns about lack of transparency here with this project?
To not give us the opportunity to voice our opinions until after everything's signed, sealed, and delivered.
Water use, electric use, I'm concerned about. Utility bills going up. If it puts out a background hum, vibrations, it would affect the bees.
Who are they to decide that they can make these decisions in secrets, of which I have no idea what informed your decision-making process, and now I have to live with the consequence?
I talked to the executive director of the Industrial Development Group that negotiated the deal to get this data center here.
And NDAs are not illegal, okay? So you're not going to change my mind on NDAs. So we're done. If you want to keep harping on NDAs, that's it.
I wonder how you react to that.
It's insane. Ultimately, we were robbed of any input, and every single person should have a problem with that.
A recent Gallup poll shows 70% of Americans are against AI data centers in their communities. That's why tech companies like Amazon, Meta, xAI, and Anthropic are using NDAs to hide information about the projects from the public, projects that will directly affect their communities, until the deal is already done, and there's nothing the community can do about it. What does it say to you, this moment where you have so many people with different views who maybe wouldn't agree on anything else, coming together and really being on the same team when it comes to this project and the NDAs around it?
All of us have to deal with these things. This is where we have to live. This is where our children are. This is where our families are buried. Well, we were probably going to be buried. This is our home.
These are the U.S. states running out of water. You would never expect the state at number 1. At number 5, it's Nevada. Las Vegas depends on Lake Mead for almost everything. That lake has dropped over 160 feet since 2000, and it's still dropping. At number 4, it's Utah. The Great Salt Lake has lost half its surface area. Scientists say it could disappear completely within years. At number 3, It's New Mexico. Farmers are pumping water out of the ground faster than rain can replace it. The ground itself is running dry. At number 2, it's Arizona. The Colorado River is drying up. Cities like Phoenix depend on it for survival, and the cuts keep getting deeper every year. And finally, at number 1, the biggest cities. The most water demand of any state, running out faster than anywhere else. It's California.
A company called Leonardo, an Italian defense giant worth over $17 billion, has built a sensor that clips directly onto flock cameras and cameras like them all across the country. It's called an ELSAG, an LSAG signal trace, and it does not read your plate. It reads your devices. As you drive past, it grabs the Bluetooth signal from your iPhone, the Wi-Fi signal from your laptop in the back seat, the RFID from your key card, the identifier from your AirTag, the signal from your tire pressure sensors, your car's infotainment system, even your pet's microchip. It combines every one.
I'm not sure that I've ever been as angry as I was Friday when I found this out. This is a failure of all levels. We are calling for immediate shutdown of software and the system, all the readers.
Why are we just now finding out? This was discovered in October and November. We received information in the end of April. Where's the gap?
There's major disappointment and distrust in this community now. I thought we had some good processes in place, and we were assured that everyone was on the same page and that this would move forward in the way that it was intended to do so. Clearly, that did not happen.
I too agree with the public. The cameras need to be removed. We need to remove those cameras.
I call upon our city manager and chief to re-examine all of our data sharing policies and the processes that ensure compliance with commission direction and policy to make absolutely sure this breakdown is not repeated.
Continue to hold us accountable. We got much work we need to do, and we're going to hold.
I mean, what's those things they're tearing down?
Flock cameras?
I mean, we're at that point. This isn't even America anymore. How did this happen?
Like
we're just being
surveilled.
surveilled, like obviously surveilled too.
No, I actually have a theory about those. When it comes to flock cameras and all that shit being put up, like literally that's just there to piss you off.
Yeah.
And let people pull them down just to spark the shit.
So I went on the Today Show with James Lee and Danny, and he said this very thing. He said that, I'll pull it up too, the flock thing is a psyop. He said, why is it only one company that's doing all this stuff and you see a bunch of people all over TikTok and Instagram pulling them down? There's other surveillance camera companies that's even bigger than them.
So is this another George Soros production?
Yeah, because the other company, I believe it's called Axon. I'll pull it up. That company is actually bigger than Flock, and guess who's invested into it?
Ooh,
Trump.
Oh shit.
The Axon one.
I'll pull it up. So he said this whole Flock camera thing is bullshit. There's another company that's bigger than them. And he was like, don't pay attention to the Flock thing. There's other companies.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. I'm like, why do they keep tearing down the Flock cameras? Why just these cameras? There's been cameras watching us for a while.
The cold shit, fuck a camera. Anybody ever seen Enemy of the State? They got satellites that will zero in on the burger that you're eating.
And there's that, because they're literally pissed the ants off.
So he tweeted about the Flock camera scenario.
Why do they need these little prop cameras?
The cold shit is they have certain cell phones that can look through walls.
Yeah, for sure. I've been told by
that's
people who work at these companies, can't say which one, but even the self-driving cars, they can look through walls.
Yeah, because their sensors are made from something else. They were actually purposed for driving after the fact.
And they saw it in the back office. They were like, hey, are we supposed to see through this guy's living room? I see somebody walking. And they're like, oh yeah, don't worry about that. It's probably just a malfunction.
What kind of malfunction is seeing through shit?
Like you're seeing through a wall, and this is a self-driving car. It's not supposed to do that.
What are we doing?
So we're talking about Flock cameras, stupid little decoy toy cameras they put on the corners, when they have self-driving cars that drive around all day and surveil us anyway, because that's really what they're probably doing.
They have satellites that literally are in space that can zero in and see the pimples on your ass. So like they go far. They go so far.
So look, breaking 53 cities have removed Flock cameras only to replace them with Axon mounted cameras. So then James says this wouldn't have anything to do with the fact that Trump is an investor in Axon and that the company is linked linked to Israel police tech firm founded by Jeffrey Epstein and former Israel PM Judd Barak, with BlackRock as its largest shareholder. So again, it's not just Flock. That's the company Axon that Trump is an investor
So
into.
literally, they throw out the decoy. They get mad about the decoy, so they're gonna tear them down. We're gonna come in and replace them. Now we made money.
Yeah, so it's almost like business espionage.
That's exactly what it is.
Because when you hear like how they targeted Taco Bell,
Somebody said they got me flocked up.
I have a list of some of the bad things Flock has done. Don't want to work with us after you sign the contract? Too bad, cameras stay up. Flock reinstalled the cameras against the city's wishes without their permission. Cameras were still on and still scanning license plates. City of Evanston sends a cease and desist to Flock Safety to get them to remove the cameras. Flock has shared data with U.S. Border Patrol, ICE, and Homeland Security investigations in violation of Illinois state law. Canceling their contract with Flock Safety has found 2 unauthorized Falcon ALPR cameras running without the city's permission after they are removed 16 of their Flock cameras. The city noted that the nationwide search setting was turned on not by themselves, but by Flock. It's not public safety, it's a dissident hunting machine. And every day that we continue to have these cameras, they put us at greater risk than any amount of these crimes they claim they solved could ever. Cancel the Flock contracts. Cancel.
I'm Ben Brown for the ABC 15 political team. Axon president tells ABC 15 that they're pulling out of negotiations with the city of Scottsdale, but that doesn't mean that they're going to stop building here.
I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. It is just crazy, and it's sad.
After getting the green light from the state legislature to move forward with construction, Axon hoped to work with the city of Scottsdale to address concerns over the number of apartments it planned to build.
We're able to build about a little over 1,900 apartments, and we had offered to make that 850 apartments with the city, and they were very receptive to that offer.
But negotiations quickly soured. The mayor issued a statement Monday, in part reading, quote, "Unfortunately, there were too many hurdles to overcome in order to move an agreement forward successfully."
This is not local government. This has just turned into a disaster. And frankly, yeah, of course, if you're looking at relocating to Scottsdale, you should be paying attention to this dynamic for sure.
What happened in Scottsdale has happened in other parts of the state. Via Resort faced a referendum in Glendale, which has led to delays, and Amcor has faced constant backlash from residents in Vistancia.
If Arizona is known as a state where you can invest in a patch of dirt, come in with a big idea to give people lots of high-paying jobs, and then some outside group can stir up either a neighborhood, whether it's organically or inorganically, as we're seeing in both instances, that's a real problem.
The Arizona Chamber of Commerce has real concerns that this could hurt future growth for the state.
Everything in business, you need certainty, and this just throws that all into question.
A wild story tonight where it appears nearly 20,000 people have vouched for the whereabouts of a man accused of destroying flock cameras in West Virginia. Thousands of people have publicly said they were with or saw 20-year-old Wesley Jackson during the time he was accused of the crime, with comments such as, "Couldn't be him. He was helping me replace the roof on a homeless shelter. And I saw him serving at a soup kitchen at the time of the incident." He has pleaded not guilty to the crimes against him.
Today at the press conference, the thing that stuck with me the most about the shooting in San Diego is that the police tried to make it seem that their ALPR, their automatic license plate readers, which by the way are being run by terrible companies like, about Flock cameras, how Palantir is keeping all this information on you, all this data, and they're telling you it's to keep you safer. Well, today they're all touting their ALPR systems like, we saw that they were going down by the mall, so we went to the mall, because they had 2 hours to find these shooters. They didn't find them. They didn't prevent anything. So they've spent all this money to mass surveil us. We're at this presser after people have been murdered. They're telling us what a great job the mass surveillance didn't work, bitch. Actually, it didn't fucking work. And it was so infuriating being there in person, hearing them lie to your face about how great these ALPR automatic license plate readers are when you didn't even find them. You had all the data in the world available to you and you still didn't prevent it. It's almost like this mass surveillance is not really going to be used in the way that y'all are fucking pretending to keep us safe. Because you didn't keep us safe. In fact, you're keeping us less safe by keeping all that fucking data, by tracking every move that we fucking make, by not allowing us any privacy. It was crazy that that's what they decided to do today. That was the spin that they gave today, that we need to be bowing down to our AI overlords on flock cameras. The fuck we do.